What's a little thing you do to make the world a better place? Pick up trash. I say thank you. Sincerely. Simple but effective. My husband always says you're welcome whenever anyone thanks him for anything. You wouldn't believe how often we skip it until you hear him. He holds the door open and someone mutters thanks. He says you're welcome. He hands me a dish I'm reaching for and I just thanks. And he says you're welcome. Always does. No matter how small or inconsequential. Slight clarification. He never says no problem or anything else. I don't know if I buy it, but I did hear once that no problem has an unspoken connotation at it. The action could have been a problem. I personally do like my pleasure, and I use all of these. My husband, though, only says you're welcome. Try it for every little thing. You'll be noticed. And no, it doesn't come across as insincere or overly formal. He definitely is not that. Lol. Is this considered polite? I've avoided using it. Always nodding with an MHM or of course. Since I don't like how you're welcome sounds like I'm trying to claim the gratitude. Always made me uncomfortable to say it. Own up to my mistakes to those it directly affects. Edit. Affects. I read this and think video games lol. But I do the same. If I'm wrong I'll admit it. And if someone thinks I'm wrong I hope they will speak up and say so. I'd rather know certain things I'm doing are wrong than so something and keep doing it if there's no backlash. Recognize and thank a person for their help/efforts. No matter how small a task may seem. I found this really helpful as a bar manager at festivals. When you have crazy 14-hour shifts, just telling people hey man, thanks for restocking the fridge really goes a long way. As a grunt worker, this kind of acknowledgement makes me happy and feel appreciated. I pick up a few pieces of trash each time I walk my dog. It's a very tiny thing, but I like to think it adds up. I often hike ski mountains and you won't believe how many beer cans, sunglasses, nip bottles, junk etc that you find under chairlifts. It's all over the mountain, but I usually hike under the chairlift to collect. Makes me feel good. Nature is beautiful and precious and people are dicks to it. I take a trash bag kayaking. Looks like a lot of it is accidental loss. Hardly ever seen anyone just chunk trash on the ground. Not like the 70s anyway. The more humans, the more trash makes its way loose. Found my own trash on the side of the road in the neighborhood. Oops, blew away and didn't see it. Oops, fell out the trash truck. Whatever. Pick up more than you lose and we're all good. Really, it's a can't lose scenario. I always go on the side of the sidewalk closest to the cars when I see an elderly person or someone with a baby. I doubt anything changes really, but I like to think I'm being selfless. As someone frequently with a baby, I would notice and appreciate this. Cut all 6-pack rings. My family does this, even if it's going in a bag, just in case. Use manners. Sounds inconsequential, but after working hospitality/retail, the amount of people that don't use them is terrible. Related, treat the person answering the phone as a person, recognizing that they're probably paid peanuts to be ranted at by customers who expect them to be magicians. Also experience taught. I try to use their first name if they give it to me. Compliment people. I saw on here that men don't get many compliments, so I try to do it in as unflirty a way as possible so it doesn't get awkward. Simple stuff like cool shirt. When I worked at Starbucks, I tried to say one compliment to each customer that went through the drive-thru. It could be something as simple as nice sunglasses or watch or whatever. It could literally be anything and it totally switched people's attitude toward you. I told other partners, other employees, to do this and it somehow made some shifts a lot easier to manage. Customer wise, I still try to do this at work, but it's a little harder now with the social distancing and masks. Esmeralda voice by the way, great mask. Wait for people that get left behind. No bro, left behind. I used to get left behind at family lunches and dinners. As I'm a slow eater, an uncle of mine started staying with me till I finished my food. Probably cost him some time, but meant a lot for me. I'm a slow eater and I get extremely anxious when everyone's almost done and I'm only halfway through. Clean up helps a lot. Anytime I go walking through a park I pick up some trash. It's only a handful or two typically, but I figure it adds up over time. Move turtles out of the road. Yay. When you move them, make sure you put them in the direction they were going. They are quite determined to go where they want to go. Of course, I move them far enough away from the road, in the direction they're going, pick up closer to their ears, and I hold them close to the ground in case they decide to fight me and I flinch. Donate blood products. Your body's constantly making red blood cells and platelets, and it's harmless and possibly healthy to donate. I started with whole blood because, well, that's what donating blood means to people. 15 minutes of time. Eat a cookie. Get a sticker. After I did that for a few gallons I was asked if I'd consider donating platelets. They have to be used within 5 days of collection, so there's always a constant need. But it takes about 2 hours to do it. A single pint of blood doesn't have enough for a platelet transfusion. So the donor ends up hooked to an apheresis machine that'll centrifuge the blood, remove the platelets, and return the rest of the blood back to the body. So I end up watching Netflix for 2 hours on Saturday while doing another triple donation every other week, up to 24 times a year. It's like Spider-Man's quote in Civil War, when you can do the things I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen. They happen because of you. Obviously donating like this isn't saving the world, but it's making the world a better place, and I'd feel ashamed if I just spend that time watching Netflix at home instead of doing some good at the same time. I also donated bone marrow in 2008, so that was a little more of a if you can help and don't, and bad things happen, it's your fault situation, as I was the best available match in the entire world for my recipient. That was a little thing to me, but a life-changing thing for that person's family. Close bracket. Don't denigrate what you did. For that one person, you meant the entire world to them. Good on you, friend. I don't know if it makes the world a better place, but I try to be as nice as possible to people. Even strangers who come up and talk to me, I'm nice to them. I don't know what they are going through, but sometimes we just need someone to talk to. Yes, whenever I have an exchange with a retail or service worker I try to really look at them and invest a little in the exchange. People can tell when you treat them like a person instead of an automaton. I know many don't care and just want to be done with their shift, but that's the point. And some really seem to come alive if they realize you're treating them like someone who deserves notice. I have found that you can also get a lot of unexpected free stuff this way as well. Haha, win-win. Take care of my things. We didn't have much while growing up, and my mother always believed in quality. She would buy things she knew we would use a lot. I have the same pencil case from 6th grade. I'm in grad school now. I have linen bed sheets, water bottles, fountain pens, mugs, and even some clothes that I've used for over 10 years. This helps me consume less, in turn creating less waste. I feel like we should strive to reduce before reusing and recycling. It blows my mind how some people go through so much crap because they see it as disposable or it's out of fashion. I've had the same backpack since 2007, the same duffel bag since 2004, and the same laundry hamper since 2000. I also use the hamper to put my groceries in when I go to the store, so I'm not using bags either. I'm also in grad school and I've got 10+ year-old binders and the same ruler I've had since middle school. My dad hammered it into me that you take care of your stuff. It was annoying when I was younger, but once I started paying for all my own stuff I was so glad he was like that. I have the same backpack since 1990. I have shoes and boots that are older than a lot of Redditors. I buy most of my things from thrift shops and I take good care of them. My parents taught me well. They have the same toaster since 1963. I always make sure to be overly polite to people serving me, whether in a restaurant or a shop, and I always tell them to have a good day when I leave. Having worked in retail I know a simple "how are you?" "thank you" or a "have a nice day" can mean a lot, especially on a bad shift. I was raised to have good manners and I'll be damned if I don't flex them at any opportunity I have. It always surprises/saddens me that other people can be the same way. I feel like everyone should have to do 6 months waiting tables between high school and college, or just after HS. I think it would make our society so much better overall. I leave spare quarters in gumball machines. I like to think it makes somebody happy every once in a while. That's really great. When someone gets cut off repeatedly in conversation, I make an effort to make eye contact with them and say go ahead. I'm listening. Or something along those lines. Yes, I do this too. And you can tell by the look on their face that it's really appreciated. Everyone knows how it feels to have a story cut off, especially if it happens more than once. Good on you. I just know how it feels, and I appreciate it. So I try to pay it forward. Thanks. When I remove an item from a grocery store shelf, I move the same item forward to replace it. ESP top shelf items. Short people like me appreciate you. I'm a tall person with severe nerve damage in my back. At your next short person's meeting, can you discuss doing this on the lower shelves? Thank you in advance. I used to leave my parking permit on the permittance if I had an early day at community college so someone else didn't have to pay. Turns out it started a trend and people still do it. I can't take the full credit though. I think someone accidentally bought 2 and didn't realize it, so they left it at the machine. The parking meters in my city no longer print tickets. You enter your license plate hash when you pay, so this act of kindness isn't possible everywhere. Open bracket. I do my best to keep bread and toast crumbs out of the butter container. Truly the kindest of all of us. When you see someone that looks down all only, talk to them. You might make a good friend. Having been that person, thank you. I can't thank the random people who stopped what they were doing just to start a conversation with me, but it was always needed and it always saved me. So thank you for the people you've saved. I don't mess with my phone while driving. One less hazard to worry about on the roads. Thank you. My mom would take us out on hikes to our local nature trail. We each had a small grocery bag that we would try to fill up with litter. Answering any question, no matter how stupid, to the best of my ability. If someone has a genuine question about something, it's a dick move to ridicule them for it. This just promotes stupidity because people will be too scared to find out the truth for something. I hated it, and still do, when as a kid I asked a question and adults would just say it's to make you talk, or stuffs like that. So I stopped asking anything to people mostly because of it. I think they were too afraid to acknowledge the fact that they didn't know the answer. The more I grow, the more I realize adults are stupid and immature. That was one of my dad's favorite things. Why is this like this? To make you ask questions to me. It wasn't being condescending. He was just huge on dad humor and I think he thought that was one of the best in his book. He would answer the question 99% of the time after he had his laugh. Own up to my shit. Whenever I see a fellow woman wearing something super great looking, it'll go as far as to yell I like your dress/hair/makeup across the street. Yes girl, there's nothing like getting a genuine compliment from another woman. I still think about the vitamin store lady who enthusiastically complimented a crop top I was feeling exceptionally insecure about. It really made an impact that lasts. Every time I feel shitty about how I look, I think about vitamin lady and wear the thing anyway. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Reddit videos.